All right, listeners, everyone, hold out your hands. Create a platform. Let's spin. Let's spin today.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
Gulliver's Travels.
All right. Gulliver's Travels is the first one.
Now, what's it up against?
3, 2, 1. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
Kung Fu Panda.
Whatcha?
All right, that's a weird matchup, but it's going to be fun.
It'll be good.
All
It'll
right.
be good.
It'll be good. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Perfection is for idiots. I kind of like that as the intro. If there's any objections, let me know. But perfection is for idiots. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the My Life, Your Life Together podcast. Zach back.
Zach Jenkins.
Nick Covey.
Yes. It's nice to have you back.
It's nice to be back. Thank you.
Welcome.
Happy New Year.
Back.
So you were our first video podcast. We haven't done a video podcast since then. So how does that make you feel?
Proud, really.
Yeah?
A little scared,
Yeah.
but also proud.
Special.
Special. Yeah.
Okay. Guys,
Listen, pups.
you should have seen by now on social media that today's episode is the beginning of a spectacular series, the Jack Black Showdown series. I have affectionately named us three the My Life, Your Life Together Movie Squad.
Movie Squad.
Movie Squad?
Movie Squad.
Baller. So we compiled every Jack Black major credit minus sequels, and you'll see what I mean shortly, minus sequels, into a spinny wheel of destiny. And then
Wheel of Destiny.
two features Jack Black has had in pretty dope TV shows for a total of 32 cinematic, television-addic beautifulness. And we're going to do head-to-head contests. We're going to grade these by enjoyment, rewatchability, quotability,
That's an important one for me.
storyline, and I thought Nick might really appreciate this one, but how the movie would be if Jack Black wasn't in his role and somebody else was.
I did think that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Because he brings a certain factor
yeah.
Right.
to the movies.
He's the Jack Black factor.
It is. The Jack factor.
Yes.
The Jack Black.
Nope.
No?
Jack Black factor.
Jack
I'm
Black
just-
factor.
Jack
What?
Black factor. Just rolls off
Sure.
the tongue better. Before we get into it, I do want to say one thing. I think I forgot to even tell Zach this. We had an anonymous donor again to buy me a coffee.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know who it was. They didn't sign their name.
Oh.
So whoever it was, thank you.
Thank you.
It's support like that makes it possible for us to do a lot of the things that are coming in the pipeline, such as remote interviews, which you'll see the first one next week.
A lot of cool remote interviews coming
Yes. So thank
in the
you.
near future.
We really appreciate that. All right. That being said, we need to get down to the business.
Let's
Down
never
to
mind,
business.
Should we do a
That is
brief
not a Jack Black movie. We are here for
summary
Jack Black
of
movies.
each movie first?
Yes.
Okay.
But didn't you want to? You wanted
Oh,
to,
yeah. I thought before we could even begin talking about the movie, since this is our inaugural Jack Black episode, we could each discuss how we were first introduced to Jack Black. I was having a hard time figuring out exactly my first piece of Jack Black media that I consumed, but I do think I remember, I don't know the exact one, but I think like back in my middle school days on the internet, the Tenacious D like soundboards, remember that, where the drive-through, the Tenacious D
Yes.
drive-through skit where they would prank call people using the soundboard? I think
Yes.
that was my first Jack Black experience.
And that's when you fell in love?
Oh, yeah. Well, I had no idea who he was. I didn't know he was like an actor. I didn't know anything about him. I was like, who's this dude ordering nuggets and being like, I only want 4 nuggets, not 6. All right, give me half Coke, half Diet Coke. I'm trying to watch my figure. And then he orders like 100 things, but he's trying to watch his figure. And then Kyle Gass orders 2 things, and they pull up and he's like, hey, you got any money, man? Oh, man, I got like $10. All right, cancel those last 2 things. So then I was like, all right, this dude's really funny. And then I heard the music, and I was like, wow, this dude can actually like really sing.
Yeah, he really is a fantastic musician. They both are.
Yeah.
If we're going down the line, I'm almost certain my first interaction with Jack Black was probably Nacho Libre.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't know, I was fairly young when that came out. Still,
Yeah, what was that? Like,
I thought that was high school days.
I don't know. I mean,
I want to say late 2000s, probably, right?
I can look it up. I mean, we can IMDb it.
Pre-2010, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think I was like a young teen, wasn't I? Not sure.
Because I know I
2006.
2006.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I was
yeah.
14.
Yeah.
Which
That makes me feel old.
which tracks. So that was I'm almost certain that was it. And I mean, like, from the moment he said, "I've had the diarrhea since Easter's,"
You were like,
I was
I'm
pretty,
sold.
yeah, I was hooked on him.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I want to consume everything that Jack Black has to offer.
Lord's cheaps.
And so yeah, what about you?
Mine was School of Rock. School
Okay.
of
Yeah.
Rock was my first introduction to Jack Black. And
Which
it was
came first?
also, I think that came out, 2003?
Right around then, I think. Yeah.
So,
Oh, then maybe School of Rock was mine. I just don't remember it.
because, yeah, I think School of Rock came out like 03, 04. Let's see.
I know I didn't watch that right when it came out.
Oh, it was
That took me a couple
2003.
years.
And
It,
so
me too, but
I was like, that was also close to the time that I was kind of starting to get into music.
Yeah.
So I loved that movie. Like, I'd never seen Jack Black in anything, and just his like his goofy style and everything, and kind of over the top antics. I loved it. And then a few years later, Nacho Libre came out, and I grew up on the border. And this is what I tell people a lot, because I know a lot of people that absolutely hated Nacho Libre, and I'm like, for someone that grew up on the border in Hispanic culture, like, that movie was so popular. It was so funny. Like, it was hilarious. And so also after School of Rock is when I found Tenacious D. And so it was very quickly, all of a sudden I became like a Jack Black fan. And I've been a fan ever since.
That's what I like most about him is I feel like he could have been like a rock star, but he also just refused to grow up. So he's like half rock star, half silly dude who just does funny, like, potty humor stuff.
Right. Like, he's in his 50s and still pulls like dumb pranks and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Like that.
that was good.
Good.
What else you got? Did you have something else? Or you
I was gonna sprinkle some
All
fun
right.
facts in
All
throughout,
right.
but
Fun
I'd also like to
facts
shout
about
out Jack Black's YouTube channel because it is also really hilarious. It's called Jablinski Games, and it started out I think like during COVID, and it was gonna be like he was gonna stream video games, and that lasted about like 2 episodes, and then he just started like vlogging his life and him messing with his kids and filming movies and stuff. So you should check that out too. It's really funny.
Jablinski's Games.
Jablinski Games, yeah.
Jablinski.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe we'll collaborate with him sometime.
That's the dream, right?
Mr. Black, if you'd like to come on the My Life, Your Life Together
Oh, that's a
podcast.
Brad Pitt movie. Mr. Black? Or is it Meet Joe Black?
I think it's Meet
Oh,
Joe
it's
Black.
Meet Joe Black. Never
Yeah.
mind. Shut up. Everybody be quiet. All right. Guys, what movies are we comparing? What did the wheel tell us?
Kung Fu Panda
Juan.
The Wheel of Destiny.
versus
Oh, Gulliver.
Gulliver.
I can't talk.
we'll edit that out.
Gulliver's
No, you won't.
Travels.
Gulliver's Shut. Yes.
Which actually, when we spun that, I had not seen Jack Black's version of Gulliver's Travels.
I'd never seen either one of these movies.
I'd never seen either one of these movies either.
What?
Yeah, that's what my wife said.
What?
Yeah, I never
How
saw
have
either
y'all
one.
not seen Kung Fu Panda?
I know that movie was like huge.
Um, So Kung Fu Panda has many sequels. Like I said, we're not going to include sequels.
And
It seemed
another
redundant.
sequel's
Yeah,
coming out.
correct.
Oh, yeah.
So only Kung Fu Panda 1, the OG is on the wheel.
original.
2, 3, and any of the come after
Is
that
he
are not.
in all of them?
Yes, he's the main
Okay.
character of all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's his name in it?
Poe.
Poe. That's right.
Poe the
I
Panda.
thought you took notes.
I did, but I didn't write down his name.
The characters.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
only
di-
when
I
I
didn't
say I
write
took
down names
notes,
for
I
anybody.
have like 5 things written down.
You're like, that was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
that's
didn't-
pretty much what I did. I was like, oh, that part I thought was really funny.
So I had heard that Kung Fu Panda was great, and I had heard that Gulliver's Travels was terrible. And, watching it back, first impression of Gulliver's Travels, what a stupid name for something.
Yeah.
Was it a book first,
Well,
or was it
I
like
know-
a 1939 movie?
I think it came out. I don't know if it was a book first or
think
not, but
it
I
was
know there
I'm-
was a
I'm-
super old movie.
Hold on. We'll find out. I'm pretty positive it was a book first, then they
Okay.
made, and there are several renditions of the movie.
All right, well,
Yeah.
whoever came up with the name, just like, why? Who hurt you? Because
Well, it's his travels. He's Gulliver,
And the
it's
full
his
name,
travels.
isn't it Lemuel Gulliver?
Yeah, that's his name, Lemuel. Yeah.
Lemuel's
Mule.
easier to say than Gulliver.
Yeah.
Gulliver's Travels.
I remember when this movie came out, I really wanted to see it,
2010.
but I never saw it. So this was my first time 2 days ago.
Yes. And I'm glad we didn't have to pay $14 to watch it.
I actually kind of liked it, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah. So I guess we want to start out with, like you said, an overview of each movie, and
Yeah.
then we'll move on to our base impressions, and then we'll get down to the scoring.
Yeah, I think that sounds
And then
good.
when we do our base impressions, we can do like things we liked about and didn't
Yeah.
like about it.
Yeah.
What's up?
So just some Gulliver's Travels facts.
Mm-hmm.
It was a satirical novel from 1726.
Holy
Wow.
moly!
Who wrote it? Anybody else?
Jonathan Swift.
I actually think I heard that as a Jeopardy question recently. This 18th century satirist. I did just hear this yesterday. But I had no idea who he was or that he wrote Gulliver's Travels.
That's
Anyway.
what an awesome thing to have.
Yeah.
Like the day before we record this.
Yeah.
Jeopardy. That's awesome. Who wants to give me an overview of Gulliver's Travels? Or do you want me to do it?
Go for it.
Okay. I have no idea. I didn't pay attention. No. So Jack Black plays Lemuel.
A loser.
Hold on.
There.
Was he a loser, or was he just somebody who was vibing through life?
Well, I will say that he was vibing through life, but he also was just somebody who didn't live up to his full potential.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Kind of like me in middle school and high school. Not necessarily a loser, just somebody who didn't really try that hard in life.
Okay, you're a realist.
Yeah, I've grown up since then, but I'll admit it.
So he plays the titulatura character, Lemuel Gulliver, and
He works in the mailroom.
who's giving the overview?
I'm just helping out.
Do I need help?
Well,
I do need help.
Sometimes.
So he
So-
works in the mailroom at some
Some
newspaper or magazine or something
I
like
believe
that,
it's
right?
a magazine. Been there for 10 years. He's kind of portrayed as this adult child, not really down on his luck, but like Nick said, not living up to
Just
his true
kinda
potential.
coasting.
Yeah.
He's in love with an editor.
Yeah, what's her name? Oh man.
Is it Jane? Jan?
No.
Your Majesty?
I can't remember. I can't even remember.
Zach's gonna look up names for us as we go through this. It's gonna
Obviously,
be
this
great.
movie was quite memorable.
Well, no, I don't remember names. That's dumb.
I don't either.
And so he wants to impress her, so he lies about writing credentials, and then she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a travel writer. You know, write something about one of your travels."
Darcy Silver.
Darcy.
Wow,
that's
I
right.
was not even
Darcy.
close.
No, I remembered it was
You were
something
way
not
off.
very
Which is
common.
bad because in my notes I have her named Jane.
Wait, was the princess
Nope.
named Jane?
Nope, that's Princess
There's
Mary.
Nobody named Jane in the movie
Guys,
at
shut
all.
up.
Sorry.
And so he goes home and he plagiarizes something and hands it
Also,
in.
like me in middle school and high school.
Preach it. Plagiarizes, hands it in to impress the girl. She's gobsmacked by it, sends him to the Bermuda Triangle to do a piece about an island there. And, you know, he gets into a store and goes through this whole wormhole whirlpool kind of thing. Ends up with a bunch of tiny people around.
In a kingdom
Yes,
of tiny people.
but he's still his normal size, so he kind of becomes like a god to them. He can do anything.
Yeah, he's like huge.
Yeah, and then there's some inner conflict in the city between him and the kingdom's general at the time, and then there's a war going on between other tiny humans, and through that all, Jack Black's character, or Gulliver, I'm gonna call him Lemuel.
Lemuel.
Lemuel,
The mule.
kind of falls out of grace because he admits that he lied to the kingdom about his stature in America.
Status.
Yeah, he took
said
all
he was
these.
the president. He said he took credit for Sweet Child of
Titanic.
Mine, Titanic,
Yeah,
Sweet
Star
Child
Wars.
of Mine.
He
Yeah.
pretended he was in.
Which is honestly like, would any of us do anything different?
No.
Yeah, right.
Like, come on, that's sick. Happenstance, Darcy ends up having to do the travel piece with him because she found out that he plagiarized, and now she can't trust him. She goes through the same whirlpool, wormhole thing.
Somehow he still gets cell service on this mysterious island.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Well, actually, he didn't have service. He just got voicemails.
Yeah.
Like on the way to the island, maybe, and then
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
who knows? But then Darcy shows up. There's another confrontation between him and the contentious general that had gotten into it earlier, and
The guy builds a giant robot
General builds a giant robot.
because he saw Jack Black's magazine that said how to build a giant robot.
That's true. I skipped over that. This isn't a great.
He gets, when he falls out of grace with the kingdom, they banish him, and he gets sucked into, he goes through
yeah.
the fog and goes to another island.
Which really
that's-
confused me.
Yeah, with like a bigger girl, and then
That's
he
like
was a
full
tiny
of giants,
human.
and so
Yeah, he's
a
like
tiny
still regular
person.
size.
Yeah, and a dead Air Force pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's gianter than him.
Yeah, and there's no parents around. It's just her.
Yeah, that part was kind of weird and really
was very
confused me.
weird.
I'd like, I should have watched the original to see how it compares.
I don't.
Because I bet you it's not even close.
Probably
It's not.
Yeah.
Probably
I
not.
mean, the tiny people is,
Right, the basic
yeah.
premise of it.
So yeah. And then eventually he beats the giant robot.
Yeah, there's a lot of wedgies involved.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he falls back into the king's good graces. They help build the ship. Lemuel, and Darcy go back home, and enter a romantic relationship because he's been in love with her for
As
5
one
years.
does when you get sucked through wormholes to
Of course.
magical
Right.
lands.
And they live happily ever after, writing magazine travel articles.
Yeah, he gets out of the mailroom.
Yeah,
Not that there's anything wrong with being in the
There's nothing wrong
mailroom,
with
but
being
you
in the
know,
mailroom. Elf makes it look fun.
true.
Um,
You get to get drunk and do Russian dances down there.
on the table.
and synopsis of Kung Fu Panda. Who wants that
It
one?
actually kind of starts out in a similar way where he's like a dude who's kind of immature. Well, when I say dude, I mean panda. But he's just another guy who's not really living up to his dreams and living up to his potential. He's a panda. He works in his dad, who is a bird. So he works in their restaurant,
We're gonna cover that later too.
and he really wants to be a kung fu fighter.
Master.
And he idolizes these guys. What do they call them? The something five?
Yeah.
The Fab
The
Five, not
Furious
the Fab
Five?
Five, something like
I
that.
think it's
Yeah,
Furious
something
Five,
five. There's
something like
five of
that.
them, and so somebody's gonna have to help me out here. He manages to find his way to the temple, all by happenstance. And
During this big celebration
There
where
we go.
the
Picking the chosen one.
main head kung fu master guy is going to determine who the dragon warrior, who's this
Dragon warrior, thank you.
prophesied
that's right.
this prophesied warrior, and he's going up just to try to get in and watch.
Sell noodles because his dad wants him to as well.
Yeah, his dad runs the noodle shop. So by some random happenstance, he ends up getting blown up by fireworks and stuff.
He
and
straps
dropping
Yeah,
out
he
of the
tries to
sky.
see. He tries to get a better view.
Yeah.
So he straps fireworks to his chair, and then he falls out of the sky. And the master's like, "We've been given a gift. This is the actual
Dragon
warrior." when he's really just a big fat panda who doesn't know how to do anything.
Oh,
And then
that
Relatable.
resonates with me.
so then obviously he starts, training. And also at the same time, the big bad villain who was the former, kind of teacher's pet pupil who was like the prodigy who had turned evil and been imprisoned because he turned evil and was like taking over the world.
Who was played by the guy who played the dad in Hot Rod, which I thought was really funny.
Oh,
That's-
yeah, Ian McShane.
Yeah.
I love Ian
That's
McShane.
Yeah, me
awesome.
too.
I didn't know that that's...
I was like, I know that
who the
voice
voice
from
was.
somewhere.
My favorite thing is that you said he plays the dad in Hot Rod and not like he was in Deadwood.
Yeah.
He was in, this was after, but the John Wick movie.
It shows
Yeah.
where my priorities are,
Yes.
really.
Listen, Hot Rod is another fantastic
I
movie
love
that-
Hot Rod.
That we could do a movie review of it. sometime.
Totally. I'd love to do that.
But so that guy that is breaking out of prison and coming for his revenge, and like nobody can stop him. He's this wild kung fu prodigy. So they're relying on like the Dragon Warrior to defeat. I can't remember what his name is, but the big bad.
It began with a T, I'm almost certain.
Tai Lung or something like that.
It is something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Everybody was Kung Fu Panda.
Ding.
Yes. Angelina Jolie was Tigress?
Yeah.
Oh, you're totally right. It is Tai Lung.
Wow.
I would have never gotten that right.
Dang, you're good.
I'm
My
a
favorite.
Kung Fu Panda fan.
My favorite actor in that movie, though, is David Cross as the crane. I
Yeah.
love him. Oh, my God. I thought he was so funny in that.
So, the movie's about his journey as the Dragon Warrior and him really nobody thinking he's the actual Dragon Warrior because he just mistakenly dropped in to this situation and got dubbed. To him training and failing and
It's a tale of perseverance.
right.
That's
And
true.
people like being like, no, you can't do it. And the Furious Five, the all the trained masters going up against the bad guy, and all of them getting like defeated to where Poe is the only hope left, and
Overcoming the odds.
him finding like his true identity to be able to unlock his
Fulfilling your
you know,
destiny.
yeah, Kung Fu
Living your
powers.
dreams. I'm running out of inspirational things to say.
I'm trying to find a I'm trying to find a
I'm
fun
running out
fact
here.
here. And I'm just having
A fun
issues.
fact about the movie?
Kind of.
Uh-oh.
I have a few
Uh-oh.
Jack Black fun facts.
Hold on. Pause for dogs.
Uh-oh.
There's no pause
had
for
a light
dogs.
issue.
I can't edit this out.
We've had a light issue. Wait, if we just sit exactly like we were when it happened.
We tried that in the Christmas episode.
I thought the edit was not bad.
It wasn't bad.
There we go. Right in the old eyes there. Sounds like a good time for our first Jack Black fun fact.
Do it.
His real name is actually Thomas. Thomas Jacob Black.
I feel like I read that once when I was a teenager and forgot immediately.
Yeah. He eventually went by Jack, obviously.
Yeah.
So I
It
don't know,
flows
for-
better.
for
No, what I
Jacob, guess.
realized is the guy who plays Zhang, who's in it for a short time, and then Mr. Ping. So Dan Fogler plays Zhang, and James Hong plays Mr. Ping, and they're the two actors in Balls of Fury.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dan Fogler plays like the ping pong guy, and Mr. Ping plays the blind grandfather, the girl that
Really?
like he falls in love with.
That's awesome. Yeah, there was some recognizable voices in that. There was Jackie Chan was the monkey.
Yep.
Yes. Man, there's a lot of stuff with that. So do we want to get down to some fun facts about the movies, like our impressions of them all?
Yes. Which
Yeah,
one
which
are we
one?
starting with?
Let's start with Gulliver's Travels.
Okay.
So I wrote a few things down.
I'm going to say first off, I actually enjoyed this more than it seems the rest of the world did.
I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, probably because it was so like vehemently spoken against as like a horrible movie.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's a mid 2000s Jack Black movie.
Right.
Like, what do you want?
I just thought it was like funny and relatable. Like he's playing Sweet Child of Mine there, pretending he wrote it. Like he has them all a made up theater. He's watching Star Wars and Titanic. I'm like, that resonates with me as someone who grew up in the 2000s. I thought it was really funny.
See, so I had an interesting, I guess, reaction or response to this movie. One, for the reason that I have seen the original. Well, not the original, not the 1939, but like the 1996 Gulliver's Travel movie that was more popular. So I think
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah.
I
So
had no
I
idea.
think that kind of tainted my ability to enjoy this movie because I was watching it and I was like, this is not Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah, it seemed like they took it and tried to like modernize it for the time.
Yeah. But I was looking at it and I was like, if this movie was not trying to recreate another story, I think I would have loved this movie and thought it was funny and hilarious.
Yeah.
But because I know the original story, I was like, you're taking a story and like almost dumbing it down and taking a story and just throwing Jack Black's antics into a story, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I see why people didn't like it. you
Right.
know?
Yeah. I get
Especially
that.
if you know the
Yeah, I
original
get it.
story.
I kind of looked at it from the opposite lens because I was like, well, we're comparing Jack Black in these movies. So I was like, which is a more Jack Black-esque movie? And I
a
thought
good
that
point.
he was like the impression that I got based off of these two movies was that it was more like he got to be more himself
Definitely.
in this movie.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't geared to as young of an audience. You know, there's like some crass humor. There's some swearing. It's still definitely like a younger audience.
On people.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty funny. I was like, it is kind of dumb, but it was pretty funny when he peed out the fire. I thought that was
great.
I thought
that was
fun.
one thing I put down. It was really funny.
Yeah. And I love TJ Miller was in it. I love him.
Yeah. When just the interview process.
Yeah.
When it's like, I forget what Jack Black said or Lemuel said, whatever. It's like, people are born in 1990, and TJ Miller's like,
People are
yeah,
born
well,
every year."
people born are every year. So he's like, good, you're hired. And TJ Miller's like, I was hired yesterday by Human Resources. Then at the end of the day, he's like, by the way, I'm your boss now.
Yeah. When Jack Black is in there playing Guitar Hero on the clock.
And the comments that he says as he's walking out and like the scene's ending, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we're gonna be making some changes." First of which is no Guitar Hero during
Yeah.
work hours.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. There was little things in it, and Jason Segel is in it. That surprised me. I had
Yeah.
no idea he was in
That
it.
was fun. I like Jason Segel and Emily Blunt.
And
That was
Yeah.
Emily Blunt, she did a
Yeah,
fantastic
she was good
job.
in it too.
And what's her name? Is it Fran from The Office?
Yes,
She comes in later
Yep.
seasons. Yeah.
I don't remember her. Who is she?
She was the king. She was the queen, the king's wife.
Oh yes, I knew I recognized her. Yeah, that's right.
And then
okay.
Billy Conley, like,
Yeah.
who's just
Yes.
a powerhouse actor. Like, there's some giant names in this movie.
Yeah. Overall, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I laughed more than I thought. Like I actually sat there and laughed at it.
Same. Some of it I was like, all right, that's just kind of stupid. But
Yeah.
again, looking at it from the perspective of appealing as a children's movie,
Right.
probably.
Yeah. I actually, the more that we're talking about it in that light, and I think what you said about looking at it as a movie for Jack Black, like what his role in it, that actually makes me enjoy it
Yeah.
more. Because I think I came at it originally from I'm looking at it from the story of Gulliver's Travels.
Right.
And that made me like, this is just like dumbing down but
It's like
looking
ruining
at
the
it-
source material,
Right.
basically. Yeah.
But looking at it from this is a Jack Black movie, which obviously that's the whole point of this. But even with that other perspective, I did enjoy a lot of parts of it. Now that we're talking about it, I'm enjoying more stuff as I'm thinking through the
Yeah.
movie because of
It all depends on the lens you watch it through,
Yeah.
Like it's obviously if we're going to say which of the two is a better movie, I think obviously Kung Fu Panda is a better movie.
Listen, we gotta get to the grading to
True.
decide which is the better
True.
movie.
That's true.
That's why the grading is going to be structured and not just pure opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Opinion's all that matters.
See, my third note, when he's going through the storm on the boat, he said he put on
Oh yeah, I thought that was funny too.
He put on all the floaties.
And he puts one on his head.
This was so funny because us, like me, Jamie, Jordan, Jovo, and a couple other friends were out on a boat like a few summers ago, and we had a tube to be pulled behind the boat. And I guess it wasn't graded to be pulled behind the boat. And so it immediately
It was just
popped.
like an inner tube inflatable.
Yeah, it immediately popped. And so we're out on this boat. We were looking forward to tubing. Like, what do we do? So we took every life vest, and I'm going to ask Joe if I can include the picture for during the video. He might not want it for valid reasons. We put every life vest we could have, and then Joe jumped off the boat and just held onto a rope with all the life preservers on.
So he was a human tube, basically.
Yeah, he was just a human tube. And I just got really loud in my ears. But yeah, he was a human tube. It was an awful, awful decision. He almost drowned.
With all the life preservers?
Yeah.
Well, because...
Careful, kids. Life preservers can make you drown.
like,
Well, too many. Too many of a good thing is a terrible
we
thing.
booked it, and then it almost like went to his bottom half, so his top half was underwater.
Like sucked him underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was just like... it wasn't great, but it was hilarious. So as soon as I saw him put all them on, I just saw like
He didn't
Joe
die.
in the movie of Gulliver's
Yeah.
Travels. I'm like, yeah, Joe did not die. He's flourishing.
He's been on the podcast. He's alive and well.
Which leads me to my fourth question that I put here, and this is a serious question. You see Jack Black's butt crack in the movie.
It absolutely
yeah.
is his.
Was it Jack Black's or is it body double?
I would believe
Is he
that
too
Jack
famous
Black
for that?
would be fine with
Okay,
having his butt crack out there.
I've seen videos in the like TikTok, Vine, YouTube era of Jack Black running around in the buff.
Yeah.
I'm
He's got no problem being in his underwear and stuff,
What
his
you're saying
whitey
is-
tighties.
What
like
you're saying is you can identify Jack Black by his butt crack.
no.
If there
I
was
think
a
that's what
line
he
of
said.
4 butt cracks,
Yeah, that's
could you
definitely what he
pick
said.
Jack
I
Black's butt crack out of a
definitely-
lineup?
I definitely could not, but to put it out there, he is comfortable with his body.
Yeah, I
That's
could
very
totally see
true.
it.
And
Do you think he charged more for butt crack?
Yes.
I know I would.
I definitely
You want to see crack? I need a little bit of extra dough.
Hey,
And arguably you show butt crack because you already have too much dough.
True. That is true. I'm feeling that right now.
But that was like an instant, genuine question that popped into my head when I saw the butt crack. I
That
was
is a
like,
good question.
Do you think it's like he's not above that? That's
That
Jack
is a
Black.
that's a thought that would never occur to me. Like the
I was
movie
gonna
magic
say-
still works on me enough where I'm like, it's just a given that it's his butt crack for me.
yep, none of those thoughts popped into my mind.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, we already touched on the peeing on the fire, but I think that's worth mentioning, definitely.
To put that to mention, I'm pretty sure that's actually also in the original.
The peeing on the
Is
fire?
peeing
Really?
to put out the fire.
Out of all the things
That's
that you
sick.
could have told me, not including the technology stuff, peeing the fire out would not be the thing I would think was in the original.
But think about it.
Although
if
if
you were
it
a
was a
giant
satirist-
human and these tiny people's houses are on fire and you can't find a source of water.
I mean, you say you can't find a source of water. He was like 4 giant steps from the ocean.
That's fair.
That was my thought. I was like, just grab some
That's
water
what I was
with
like,
your
oh,
hands. And,
He's gonna go to the ocean, like put it in his mouth or something.
yeah, something like that.
But that part made me laugh because again, my brain went right to like that's James Corden and Billy Connolly,
Right.
To like I imagine them pitching the script to them, be like, all right, guys, in this scene, Jack Black is gonna pee on you,
A
Right.
giant
and it's
Jack
gonna be
Black.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Billy Connolly, who's been in so many movies, is just like, yes. I'd try to do a Scottish accent, but I can't, so never
Yeah.
mind. Or
It's
Irish
hard
accent.
to with one word.
Yeah.
Especially yes, I mean.
Yes. Nope. That's not it. That wasn't close. All right, you guys are laughing. You try it. Irish accent with yes. No. If you're gonna laugh that hard,
Scottish
do it.
accent with the yes.
No, because I know I can't do
Do
it. I just say yes.
Yes.
That was Scottish. That was Sean Connery.
I guess it was Sean
That
Connery,
counts.
wasn't it?
Sean
Yes.
Still counts. But yeah, I mean the peeing on, and then the statue of
I thought that was
the
funny
ice
too. I noticed
statue-
that.
The
Of
ice
him
statue
peeing at
of
the
him
Yeah,
being
that
at
was
the feast
hilarious.
afterwards was really funny.
and that was pretty quick. I like to think they had a statue of somebody peeing already on hand.
Yeah, right. I was thinking at that banquet, I was like, what are they going to feed him? How did they possibly have enough food for someone that big?
How do you
Right.
get full?
Yeah.
And he picks up that, well, what to them was a
Oh,
big
yeah,
punch
that
bowl,
goblet.
and he picks it up and is like,
He's just like
and I'm like, that would have been like, it's
barely
not even a
enough to wet
shot.
his whistle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a couple drops.
I have down. He yells when the general who doesn't like Lemuel brings down the city's defenses, and so the enemy city can attack. And so then he challenges Lemuel to walk out and basically fend off this attacking city. And so he like wades out into the water, shirtless. It's Baywatch-esque.
'Cause they're attacking
really.
from the sea. With
Yeah,
like,
they're attacking from the sea. I guess
ships.
that's important.
It's like 1700s kind of like
Cannons,
pirate
and-
ship
yeah.
style.
And so he goes out there, and they open fire with the cannons on him, and obviously it doesn't hurt him because he's so huge. And I'm pretty sure that's the point where he like says, "I'm invincible," and whenever I hear those words, I think of Boris from GoldenEye.
I don't remember that.
Remember
part.
that?
No. No.
I don't either.
The game or the movie?
The movie.
Yeah, I
He
don't,
goes, "I am invincible," and then there's like an explosion.
not ringing a bell.
He dies.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay.
We
Well,
can edit this part out.
no, we're not
We're
because
gonna
that's
edit it out.
that's a great reference, and it's not my fault. You guys don't
Sorry.
know it.
I did think it was funny though. In both movies, there was a scene that made a point of something bouncing off of his belly.
Yes.
So, but that's also kind of very Jack Black.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
makes fun of his own weight
Right.
all the time in like every movie.
Yeah, that's. I just thought it was funny. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's Jack Black. We got a funny chubby guy. Let's bounce something off his belly."
And chubby, man.
Yeah,
You're fat and you have body odor. See me after class. School of Rock quotes.
I see you have music written down. I agree. There was
Yeah,
there was
the
good
the
music in
was
it.
great.
Music
Yeah.
was awesome.
I
And
almost
that's
made
to
that a
be
grading
expected
criteria.
with Jack Black.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure. He also plays matchmaker, or he tries to be. What's that movie with Will Smith where he plays the dating coach? Come on, help me
Oh,
out here.
Hitch.
He plays Hitch for Jason Segel and Emily Blunt, and it doesn't work because he gives horrible advice.
Yeah.
You do
For the
realize
peasant
kind
and
of
the
that
princess.
But it does work eventually.
it works eventually, but it works when Jason Segel's like, "Hey, man, your advice sucked. I'm going to be myself."
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I actually really did love the scene where the peasant guy is there trying to talk to the princess on the balcony, and Jack Black's hiding
Prince
behind the building and like
yeah,
giving him
feeding him the lyrics
the
of the
lyrics
Prince
of-
song. Yeah, I thought that
a
was
Prince
hilarious
song.
too. I did think that was funny. That was great, and it was working.
and
It
it
was
was-
working.
It was working.
Yeah.
Prince was smooth. R.I.P. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out for. No, never mind. I mean, see, I called her Jane right there,
Yeah.
and you can tell I was taking notes
Were you
as I
thinking
watched.
of like Tarzan?
Maybe. What's his name? Darcy. You can tell I was writing notes while I watched the movie because I literally said when Gulliver fights the mech robot again at the end, it's after he realizes Darcy's on the island and he sees her imprisoned and chained and stuff.
Oh yeah,
And so he frees all the little people. The miniature people?
yeah, yeah.
The
Maybe
miniature
we should
people.
edit that out too.
The miniature people. And then, like, it goes off to him fighting the mech robot. And I typed,
Right.
why wouldn't Gulliver free Darcy to make it 2 versus 1 against the mech? And then ... because it shows Darcy off to the sides. Oh, he did ... Why isn't she helping him?
Yeah,
Because it's his fight. He's
doesn't
got to
matter.
prove
Yeah.
himself.
but I feel like that dude may have killed him
Yeah.
if given
Well, yeah,
the
but it
opportunity.
also came out like that dude was cheating too because he like.
Yeah, he had the lightning,
electrified.
electric. Yeah,
Although
But
was it
Jason
cheating?
Segel's character went and,
He did.
and helped him.
he did. I did think I think it was that scene where she's like off in the back watching. That was pretty bad CGI.
Yeah,
Of her in
it
the
was.
back,
Oh, for
back
sure.
there. I was trying to be as generous as I could. I was like, this movie came out late
They were the end of
2000.
the budget.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I can't.
There was not a lot of great CGI.
Yeah, some of the
There was
CGI
some
was
wonky
not
stuff.
too good.
No.
They spent all their budget on getting good actors, I guess.
That's true.
Factual.
I did still like going back to the shirtless fight against all the boats. All the cannonballs hit him and then bounce off and hit like half the boats. And then he's like, oh, wait, I'm big. And he just grabs all of them by their anchor lines and just drags all the boats out. I love that where he's just like, oh.
I liked when he first went out there. He was like, hey, guys, they want me to come out here and destroy all you, but I really don't want to do that. And you guys don't want to get destroyed. So I'm just going to pretend. And you guys can turn around and be like, oh, no, we retreat. And then, of course, they didn't. But
he's just sitting there like
just splashing around. Yeah, like I used to do in the pool when I was a kid.
Yeah. He's like, all right, sell it. Make it look good.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that just about covers it. Should we get to the grading here?
I mean,
anybody
do we want to mention the island with the giant child girl? That was a really
weird,
disjointed.
I mean, if you guys have something to talk about, that was just weird.
I was just really confused by that. Is that anything like that in the original or the older one?
I mean, if I remember correctly, in the original, he goes to 2 different islands, and one's miniature people where he's a giant, and then he goes to another island where he's a miniature people among giants.
So it is kind of similar.
But there was more to it than just...
Yeah, because that was like a 10-minute scene. Like,
where he gets captured by this giant child put in her dollhouse. The Air Force pilot who's dead and skeleton inside his flight suit now was kind of interesting but weird and creepy at the same time.
I thought he was going to take the helmet, honestly.
I was hoping he was
like he took the parachute and I was like, oh, I thought he was going to take the helmet, get some head protection for the mech fight.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
So do we want to rate like out of 5 or out of 10? Let's do out of 10.
Out of 10. 10's better.
Okay. So down the line, Zach, enjoyment rating 1 to 10. 1 being the least, 10 being the most.
I would say a 6. Like there were parts that I enjoyed, but overall it was kind of a wonky. Not my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, we can do decimals here, by the way.
I was just going to ask that.
6.34. I'm just kidding. No, stick with 6.
How many decimals can we go to?
I would give it a 5, probably a 5.3, if I'm being honest. Give it a 5.3 because I did enjoy it, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, so I'll just leave it at I did enjoy it.
Okay. I was going to give it a 7.6.
Okay.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny. It entertained me.
Okay. Next up is the enjoyment not enjoyment, rewatchability.
I'm going to give it a 1. I probably won't watch it again. Maybe, but probably not.
This one's tough for me because I'm at a point in my life where I really don't rewatch a lot of things. But if someone hadn't seen it and they were like, hey, man, I really want to watch this movie, I'd probably watch it again. So I'll give it like a 4.
Okay, give it a 4. Yeah, I was gonna give it a 3, like just a flat 3. Because I don't know, I just feel like I'm gonna indoctrinate my child to watch Jack Black, and this is an easy movie to start out with because it is for the most part child appropriate.
Yeah.
Quotability. So how many quotes can we take from this movie and use in our daily lives?
So the way I think about it, honestly, there's not very many quotes from this movie that pop up. Like when I watch Nacho Libre, when I watch School of Rock, when I watch Jumanji with Jack Black, like all of those movies, instantly there are quotes.
Yeah, there are some quotes from those movies that you've only seen the movie one time, and the quotes stick out and you remember them.
In your head. This one, I gotta give it another 1. Like even as I was watching the movie and thinking about quotes, like nothing stuck to where right now all I can think of is boosh.
Boosh was a good one.
Yeah.
And that's
Are you
going to
stick with
quote.
1 though?
I'm going to stick with 1. It's not very quotable.
Yeah, I feel like because a lot of the things he does, he's he's already quoting something that's happened, but he's saying
Right.
it to the island people
Right.
that don't know it. So in terms of original quotability, I would also give it a 1.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Wow, look at we got a unanimous decision.
Our
And
first unanimous.
I'm gonna try to have these written up in cool looking scorecards that I'll put on the video as well.
on the screen. Where are they going to be?
Or we
Are they
could
gonna be up
Olympic
here? Or are they going to
style
be down
hold
here?
up our scores.
It's gonna be the full screen.
Oh wow,
Oh, it's going to like cut out our faces.
that's good because if I hold up my score, people will see my armpit sweat, and I don't want that.
Yeah. Wow, that's what I would look like. Do I have armpit sweat right now?
No, I can't see it through there.
Sweet, guys. The sand, crew necks don't show armpit
Perfect
sweat.
for disguising your armpit sweat.
They look
and-
fire.
And fun fact, I figured out a new way for shipping and printing, so prices did come down a little bit. Check
Or
out
if
the
you want
Etsy
to pay
store.
extra, Zach will armpit sweat into one of them
Factual,
That's true.
and
factual
you
statement.
can get it
If you want,
for yourself.
Yes,
it's like a custom, personalized
yes, my natural musk.
gift.
Storyline. This is a tough one for this. I think
This one's
because it's not an
tough.
original story.
Right.
right. And do you grade it on the overall storyline, which, like we just said, is not an original story, or do you grade it on what they did
Right.
with the way that they modified?
I think.
the
I mean, in my
storyline?
opinion, I'm
You have to do
gonna.
it that one.
I've
The
never.
modifications?
I've never seen the original, so I don't know. I was gonna give it its own standalone.
Yeah, I'd say standalone. Even if you know the story and the storyline has changed, like we're not comparing it to the original storyline. The storyline that is in this movie,
Right.
how do you like? How much do you
Right.
like it?
So I would say I actually do like the storyline. I do like the concept of this, traveling and getting sucked into, this wormhole, whatever, warp to different lands with different. It's a cool concept, and I like I said, I think the one thing that kind of got me was the differences between the original and the Jack Black remake. So I actually do like the storyline and think even if I'd only seen the Jack Black one, I would have enjoyed it probably even more. So I would say I'd give it a 7 for a storyline. I think it's an interesting concept.
Zach is not a fan of decimals, apparently.
No, I guess not.
Guess not.
You guys only did decimals on your first ones.
That's true.
Fair, but still, that's
Ha!
one more than you. I did like the storyline as well. Like that was one of the I don't want to say redeeming qualities because again, I don't think it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
So I would give the storyline like it had good. I mean, it was. You could predict that there was going to be a peak, then he was going to get caught, and there was going
Right.
to be a trial, and then it was going to culminate at the climax, and it was all going to be great. So
But that's also basic
Yeah.
storytelling.
but I think it was done well though. So I was also going to give it a 7.
I thought the modern take on it was pretty good, even though I've never seen the original. But I like the things that they threw in there, like when he's pretending he was in Star Wars and stuff. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
obviously that stuff wasn't in the original, and I thought that was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Was they built a theater, and he had these little guys
Acting
reenact
out.
Star Wars, hold up little fake Darth Vader masks, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta watch!" And then the big reveal that Darth Vader is Luke's father. They're all like, "Oh man!" Like nobody saw it coming. I thought that was really funny.
I like that. Not to cut you off, but I'm going to.
You are the host.
I like the Titanic one where
Yeah.
I did
wait a
too.
minute,
Yeah. You
died. He's like,
survived this?
Yeah, but they resuscitated me. I did die, but
Right.
they brought me back to life.
Right.
And the fact that he passed those stories off not as like, oh, these are fun stories from
Right.
my land. Like, no, this was my life.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
in all of them.
I was
Yeah.
Jack from Titanic.
Yeah.
I was Luke from Star
And he's
Wars.
like playing music on his phone for the big festival and stuff. I thought it was funny. I liked it. I'll give it a 7.5.
Beautiful. All right.
This next question, I think is super important.
This is very important. So
Go
wait,
ahead.
I have a question on how we're gonna rate this. So higher means that it was better because he was in it.
So the question for the viewers is, how would the movie be without Jack Black in his role?
I think we should rephrase it and say how important is Jack Black to the movie.
Jack Black's role in this.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because then we can
give
I
it-
think
give a
that
number.
his importance, like, if the movie would have sucked without him, it should be a higher score.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what we're going
Yeah.
for? Yeah.
Can I say it like that so I don't have to delete
Yeah.
as much?
Yeah.
I think that's perfect.
So, I think the way that this movie was written to be a comedic telling of a modern comedic telling of this, hundreds years old story. I don't think anybody else could have done it like Jack Black.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
agree.
take Seth Rogen and put him in there.
That's
you
who I was
take,
thinking of too.
Yeah.
None of they wouldn't pull it off the way
Right.
that you take Zach Galifianakis.
Not up to the
like,
standard.
Yeah, it would not have
It would
been
be funny, but not the same.
right. I think Jack Black, for the way that they wrote this movie, was absolutely essential. So I will give it a 9.9.
Wow.
I'm not going to give it a perfect 10. And there's your decimal.
It's tough because I feel like I should give it a 10 because that's what I believe. But I feel like saying it's a 10.
I feel like there are other people who could do a good job,
Yeah.
but not obviously the same.
Yeah.
Like, I think a perfect 10 would be, unless
No
it's
one could
Jack
do-
Black, this movie
Yeah.
would suck, you know?
Yeah. I think I'm going to give it an 8. Which is still a pretty high score.
I think it deserves
But-
around an 8.
I think there are other actors who, if they were in it, I would have still watched
Yeah.
the movie eventually.
It would have been a different feel, but I think it still could have been funny. I'll give it an 8.5. I think that's fair.
All right. Kung Fu Panda. I took less notes because it was a better movie. No, I
We already recapped this,
So-
right? Didn't we?
Yeah, we recapped
yeah.
it.
Okay.
Fantastic movie.
I was drawn into this movie more. The first thing I wrote down. What's up with animated films and just any animal can have any animal as a child?
So, hold on.
Wait, what?
There's
Oh,
a-
yeah.
There,
How
there-
he... Are you going to say something in the sequel?
Yes.
I figured. Because at the end, they kind of hint at something. Because he says, like, how are you my dad? Or are you even my real dad? Or
Yeah.
something like that? Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
He's
He's
adopted.
not. Yeah, he's adopted.
It's got to be.
So
and let me
it's-
guess.
it's-
Hold on a second. Let me guess. I don't know if I want to guess, but I'm thinking that his actual panda parents were like kung fu masters or something.
I'm not confirming or denying any
I'm
of
not
that
at
because you
liberty
guys
to
need to
discuss
watch
that
the
matter.
sequels.
I want to.
I do want to
because
watch
they're
it. I
actually
do.
really good.
Yeah.
As far as animated series that have sequels and multiple sequels, I think Kung Fu Panda is one of the best series when it comes to that.
Okay.
But yeah, so I
Okay.
I also thought I do like it though how they leave that in and kind of open.
Yeah, it was just barely mentioned at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just like it's this weird, quirky, funny. Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How are you?
It was like totally a one-off line. I was like, wait a minute. They're not going to discuss that more?
Because it's this little goose and this giant, big old fat panda.
Yeah.
That answers that.
Okay. I wrote down David Cross as the crane, which I already talked
good.
about. I love him. He's hilarious.
David Cross is hilarious.
He just has such a funny, dry, awkward sense of humor and
Oh, yeah.
delivery.
I loved Master Oogway.
Master Oogway is top notch.
Is
Was that the
that's
turtle
the
or
turtle.
was
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, Master Oogway.
He was great.
Because he's
He was
just
great.
like this kooky old like. He says these kooky lines, and sometimes you're like, "Is that wisdom or is that just crazy?"
Is
old
he
man
senile?
Yeah. speak? Is that wise or is that senile? That's a
Right.
great way to put it.
That's like life.
Yeah.
I mean, an old person.
Yeah. What was the little master's name? His trainer?
Shifu.
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 Master
Yes.
Shifu.
Okay.
Yeah.
I applaud his effort for trying to bring the noodle cart up the stairs.
Oh my.
Oh, yeah.
gosh.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
And, like it actually
Trying to-
got me because he's like bringing. There's a point where like the whole village is gathering up to watch ceremony for the
Coronation of the dragon.
of the dragon warrior, and so Poe, Jack Black's character's name is Poe. His father tells him to take the noodle cart and make a bunch of money selling noodles, and he's like, okay, and he gets it, and it's like there's just stairs on stairs. It's like the never-ending staircase in Mario, and it shows him like dragging the cart up. And my first thought was, why doesn't he just sell it at the bottom? But
Right before everybody goes in.
yeah.
But then everybody would have to bring their noodles all the way
Yeah,
up
but
those
it's
stairs.
easier for someone
And
to
it's
carry a bowl of
like-
noodles
That's
than him
true.
to do the cart.
Walking up 10,000 steps.
I also liked that they went back and like touched on it a few more times every time he had to go up the stairs.
Yep. And then like it shows like a zoomed in version, like picture of him on the stairs with the cart, and I'm like, man, he's making progress. And then it zooms out and he's like 5 stairs up from the bottom. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. I liked that part.
So I actually really liked how relatable Poe is as a character.
Yeah.
Because he's really just this like he's not a deadbeat because he works in his dad's restaurant, but he's just this kind of like dorky, nerdy kid that's working for his dad's business. Like he's got action figures of the Furious Five, of the like Kung Fu warriors that he still is like, ha, ha, playing with and idolizes them, and yet just,
He's not that dissimilar to Lemuel Gulliver, really.
that's true.
That's true.
Kind of a guy who's just okay with his place in life, and
Well, and then you think about like, okay, he gets like dubbed the Dragon Warrior and is now in the Kung Fu, like temple training and stuff, and he's like absolutely fangirling out over all the other Kung Fu, masters that he's now training with as
he's
a peer that he's idolized for all these years. Like how many of us would do that? Like,
right, sneaking around at night, like past their rooms and stuff.
And being like, oh my gosh, would you sign my,
Right, and he breaks the floor when he's walking around because he's so fat.
Like, it's totally relatable. Like,
Oh, yeah.
think about if all of a sudden, like, you get signed to your favorite NFL team,
Right,
and now
right.
you're in the locker room with all these, and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
oh my god, like, you would be I would.
I'm
I'd
like,
be
oh my god, Jalen Hurts locker, and then I like try to put his jersey on and rip his jersey or something like that,
and then try to secretly put it back without
Yeah.
anyone
Oh,
noticing.
hey, okay, here you go. I want to say before I forget, and this is skipping like all the way to the end of the movie, when he does the finger technique thing.
The whooshy finger hold.
Did he kill that dude? Like, he exploded that guy. What happened? They never show him again. And Zach knows, of course, because he's seen the sequels. But I'm like, they just show him, because in the beginning, the Master Shifu, right? That's his name?
Yeah.
He, like, threatens to do it to Poe. And he's like, you know what happens if I flex my pinky? And he doesn't flex the pinky. Well, at the end, spoiler alert, obviously, Jack Black gets the bad guy in that hold. And he's like, you know what happens if I flex my pinky? And he does, and that's where the skadoosh line comes
and
in.
it's like a nuke.
And it just shows this explosion.
Which makes the beginning scene when Shifu does that to Poe even more hilarious.
You're like, oh,
he
that's
threatened him
what
with
happens.
like a nuclear nation.
Right. To completely annihilate him.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't like him at that part, too.
Yep. That is brilliant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
does
he
that get covered in
vaporizes
the
him.
sequel? Oh.
I don't think it
He
really
gets vaporized though.
I don't remember them like specifically addressing it, but like he doesn't come back.
Oh, he doesn't come back.
It's kind of baller though. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
vaporized.
I
Guys-
mean, yeah.
Are there rhinos in Asia?
Yes,
Okay.
I have no idea.
there
Any-
literally is a species called the Asian rhino.
Are they endangered? I feel like they
Probably
probably are.
every
Everything's
rhino
endangered.
is endangered.
Guys,
Yeah.
humans suck.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, that was it. I mean, there's a clan of rhinos that like guard prison, and I was like, are there even rhinos in Asia? So I had to ask that. This next part that I wrote down.
They're also known as Sumatran rhinos.
Hey, good for you, nerd. And
I
so
also just looked that up. to
Oh.
know the Sumatran-
even more nerdy. You do research,
Yes.
idiot.
Yeah, right? Come on. It's
Guys.
2024.
What was Master Turtle's name? Oolong Tea.
I don't know. I will never remember. I'm so bad
Oofang.
with names.
Oofang.
No,
It was
I
something like
had
that.
it, and then you said
It was
that.
something like that. Oofang.
Master
or
Oogway.
Master Oogway. Guys, Master Oogway has a vision that the evil tiger, what's his name? Lynx.
Tai
whatever-
Lung.
Tai Lung. Thank you. Gosh.
We're probably like accidentally swearing in another language right now.
Pee right here. Master Oogway has a vision that the evil Tai Lung is coming back, and then literally just pieces out.
Pulls a Master Luke.
Yeah, and he just like disintegrates.
He's
He
like, "Man."
transcends time into the afterlife, and he literally just like pieces out. It's like,
Yeah.
you
Good
guys can
luck.
believe it.
I don't
Like,
want
I
to be around
defeated-
for this.
I defeated him last time It's not my problem anymore. Bye.
Deuces.
I
Good
was
luck,
like-
guys.
I'm sitting on the couch. I was like, that's selfish, dude.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up, really.
Yeah. But he did it.
To motivate.
I know, but like,
Yeah.
bruh, what if they didn't answer the call? But then I guess it wouldn't be Ugoy's problem because he'd be deaded.
He's one with the earth.
I'm one with the earth is with me.
That's a whole other like
It's a
I
different
love that
universe.
too. I
Okay.
love that movie.
I did
I'm one with
like-
the Force and the Force is with.
That was from Rogue One, which I have a funny
Oh, I
story
did see
about.
Rogue One. I like Rogue One.
Fantastic movie.
I'm not like a huge Star Wars nerd, but I like Rogue One. I said not huge. I enjoy them.
I'm going to tell a quick story that Zach isn't going to be able to expound upon, otherwise it's a rabbit trail. We were leaving the theater of Rogue One, and Lex says, "What happened to the two people that were on the beach?" And I was like, they died. And she was like, "What?" And I was like, that was the point of their movie.
did
They're
she-
sacrificing themselves.
How did she miss the part where they're standing on the beach and the wall of like laser blast vapors come and envelops them? Like,
I love my wife.
Disclaimer.
Lex,
Would
if you
have
can hear
more
us,
notes? She can hear.
oh,
She's
man.
upstairs.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something. There was something I wanted to touch upon. Oh, yeah. I liked how much of an homage it was to like old school kung fu movies. Did something just disconnect?
I don't know.
I heard a noise.
I heard a
It's
beep.
fine.
But yeah, I used to, growing up, love watching old kung fu movies, especially like Jackie Chan movies and stuff. And it was really like, seriously, an homage
was.
to old school kung fu movies.
Yeah, the fight scenes
like,
were great.
The fight scenes were, especially the dumpling scene,
yeah,
where he's like, "Oh, go
Yes.
ahead, have one." I was like, that. I was like, this is awesome. This is great.
and the fact that they were able to do cool like classic kung fu movie stuff in animated and make it not look dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when he's breaking out of the prison, I thought that was awesome too.
Yeah,
It's so over the top, but it is like they would
was so
do that
cool.
stuff in an old kung fu movie.
Yeah.
Like they would throw spears in the wall and then climb up them and do crazy stuff like that.
or like the fight at the bridge
Yeah.
with the Furious Five
Yeah.
and Tai Lung. Also,
That was
a
great.
part of that I absolutely just always love and find is hilarious is they're holding the ropes up and eventually they leave it to Mantis,
Yeah.
the tiniest
Yeah.
one, to hold the bridge while the rest of them are fighting on it.
Which that really did not sound like Seth Rogen. I was surprised when I found out
Yeah.
that was Seth
he
Rogen.
he was the first one that I realized, like, who the voice was. Jackie Chan, it took me forever.
Yeah. And he doesn't talk much in the movie, Jackie Chan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But Angelina Jolie did not sound like Angelina
No, I
Jolie
had no
at
idea what
all.
you're referring to. I just looked it up earlier.
Yeah.
I do want to say one thing. If we lost video, which I think that might be what the sound was, like the memory card ran out of space or something,
Uh-oh.
then just keep listening. So it's all fine.
Yeah. It's fine with me.
We'll just
That's
we'll
why
just
nobody
put
will see
up
my armpit sweat.
our logo.
Yeah. Technical difficulties.
Wax on. Wax off.
I guess that makes more sense because I was doing more of like a force thing, but then we're talking
yeah.
about a kung fu movie, so
Yeah.
maybe
And then the last thing I wrote down was, other than the fight scenes being amazing, I enjoyed the soundtrack and the score again. I think it was another really well
Yeah.
done music. Just for scenes and in general. Yes, sir.
Well, one of the things I also wanted to hit on was that I know you mentioned like Gulliver's Travels was more of a like Jack Black, but this still was very much Jack Black.
Yeah.
Like
I just feel like he had to tone it down a little bit because
Yeah.
it was a very young target audience.
true.
But like one of the most Jack Black vibes I got was when Shifu was like, I forget the monkey's name. He keeps his cookies on the top shelf.
Oh, yeah.
And like Poe jumps up into a split and's eating the cookies, and Shifu's like, "How did you do that? You did a perfect split." And Poe's just like, "I'm just sitting."
I wrote down in the very beginning when he first gets to the training palace place and he's just getting destroyed by all the training equipment and then he gets hit in the nuts and he goes, "Oh, my tenders." That, I laughed out loud at that. I wrote that down, my tenders. And now I'm going to start referring to my tenders whenever that happens. to me.
That's awesome.
That was really funny.
But I love because he still plays up the like goofy, dumpy, klutzy,
Yeah.
like
Totally.
dude, and I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
even the fact when he's climbing the stairs trying to get up, and it's like 10,000 steps, and he gets up to the top and just like collapses.
Right.
Or when he's trying to get back up to the top when Tai Lung gets up
I
there,
was
and
just gonna say that.
and he's racing to like finish the fight, and he gets up to the top. And he's like, okay, just give me a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Catch my breath. Then I'm totally gonna kick your butt. Whoo. Okay.
You did that really well.
Yeah. I actually thought you were out of breath for a second.
Yeah. I mean, I'm experienced with being out of breath. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I've exercised a lot in my life.
Okay.
Look at this guy.
Weird
He
flex, but
exercises.
okay.
Wow.
Nerd. Anything
I'm
else you
also
want to
pudgy
add
now.
there?
I think that is it. Yeah.
All right. Do we want to grade this bad boy?
Yeah.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
It was good.
I'm going to give it real grades.
All right. So first, the enjoyment of Kung Fu Panda. Let's go this way. Nick
Okay.
goes first now.
I think that, I definitely enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it a little bit less than I enjoyed Gulliver's Travels
You're a crazy person.
because I think it was just,
He's an alcoholic.
I think it's just because it was like a lot of the humor was not lost on me, but it's definitely like geared towards a younger audience, which I can still appreciate. But I just felt like Gulliver's Travels was like geared more towards like my age group and the time I grew up. But I still enjoyed this quite a bit. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a solid 7.
I mean, that's a great score.
And that's just my personal enjoyment. Like I said, I definitely think this is clearly a better movie than Gulliver's Travels, but
Yeah.
based on my subjective enjoyment of it.
I'm also going to give it a 7. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I give it a 7.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. Like, it's not a perfect movie, but I really love this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It was good. I'm glad I saw it.
All right. Now, rewatchability, Nick.
I think I would be more likely to rewatch this than I would Gulliver's Travels.
For sure.
And I think there would be a lot of little things that I would pick up on that I missed the first time. What did I put? I put 4 for that. I'll probably give this one a 6.
Okay. That's good. Honestly, I'm going to give the rewatchability, which seems to... It's weird to give rewatchability a higher score than enjoyment. But, like,
Yeah.
I know I'm going to rewatch this.
Yeah.
And, like, I can see myself rewatching it multiple times.
Right.
So I am going to give it an 8.
Wow.
Jenkins?
So, my rewatchability is going to be a 9 because, one, I've already rewatched it. I've already seen it a couple times, 2-3 times. And I know I'm going to rewatch it again because I enjoy it. So I'm not going to give it a 10 because it's not like, oh, if there's a movie I'm going to rewatch, I'm going to Kung Fu Panda first. No, but I know I'm definitely going to rewatch it.
I feel like it could be a fun, like, comfort movie, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you don't know what to do one night. You're like, oh, let's just watch Kung Fu Panda again.
It's just fun,
you know?
goofy.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel it.
Quotability.
Quotability.
I was surprised
good.
that only happens once in this movie because I remember, like, everybody was quoting that back in the day. But that might be for the sequels. I don't know. But I remember hearing skadoosh, like, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And then it happens one time at the end, which I was very surprised. But it is pretty quotable. Like I said, my tenders, I mean, that got me. That got me real good. That was funny. And I feel like the more you rewatched it, the more quotes would stick out to you. I will give it a 6.
It's a good score.
solid score.
I kind of feel the same. I'm going to go a little bit low. I'm going to go 4.8 for my quotability.
I'm going to go with Nick on this with a 6 because there are a lot of quotable lines in this movie. It's not one that you watch once and automatically there's like all these quotes that just stick in your brain, but there are a few that'll automatically stick. And then as you, like you said, as you watch it more, there's lots of things that you can continue to quote. So, and it is like fun quotes like my tenders or the skadoosh or the, not the whooshy finger hold.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah.
So there's some fun stuff in there.
Storyline. I liked the storyline. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the old Kung Fu movies, and that stuff really hits close to home for me. And I always like a good overcoming the odds story.
Of course.
So I will give it an 8.3.
Yeah, my storyline is going to be up there too because I think the storyline was really, really, really good. And same thing, like Kung Fu movies. I mean, it made a children's movie true to the Kung Fu movies I watched with my
Right.
dad growing up and stuff. So, I'll just make it simple. I'll give it an 8.3 as well.
Nice.
So I really like the storyline for the same things that you guys said, but it also like has some really good character development in it.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, there's one
For-
thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, for not only Poe's character, but the other characters like the Furious Five, for Master Shifu, like because it's not just developing Poe's character; it's developing Master Shifu. It's
Right.
developing the other Kung Fu masters.
Even the Tigress.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of cool character development and stuff that happens individually and as a team, And it was a cool story, I think, with like Master Shifu and how Tai Lung was his apprentice, his pupil that he had taken in, and then he turns bad and then he doesn't believe in Poe. Poe ends up being the
Right.
Dragon Warrior. Like there's a lot of cool stuff there that I thought was fantastic storytelling, so I'll give it a 9.
There's one major plot point that we didn't touch on, and it's when he gets the dragon scroll at the end.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that goes to a lot of the storyline where the real power is within you.
Yeah.
You know? He opens the scroll and there's nothing. It's just like a reflective scroll.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive. No. Okay.
Now Jack Black in this role I thought
How
was
important is Jack Black?
very important. I really don't think that anybody else could have done this like Jack Black. Although I did read online that Patton Oswalt and Jack Black compete for a lot of roles.
Really?
I think that's who I'm thinking. Oh, is that who I'm thinking of?
I mean,
that would make sense. They give me similar vibes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was him.
I still could not.
He
see
wouldn't
Patton
do the
Oswalt.
same,
No,
but
he wouldn't.
but I think it would be funny with someone like that. Although I don't think it would come close to Jack Black.
Right.
I mean, his delivery, he kind of looks like the panda,
Right.
Like
It's almost like the panda's based on
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it goes back to the same thing as Gulliver's Travels, right? Like there are other people that could do the role, but it's just not going to be as funny. It's not
Right.
going to be the same.
I mean, you think of your other like, chubby, funny, goofy
I'm
actors.
right here.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing. So hey, listen, we all got a little, except for Mr. Exercise over there.
I'm not Mr. Exercise.
Mr. 75 soft.
I got a little
But like,
Give us a number.
inflation.
are we rushing along here? We're
No.
running out of time. I was just, I was
Number now.
trying to give the people what they want.
Yeah.
They want a number.
They want a number
They want the
9.5. Okay.
One.
Yeah, I say 9.5. I mean, you think of your other chubby guys like Seth Rogen would be funny, but he doesn't bring the same stuff.
Not even.
And the
close.
fact
know?
that Seth Rogen is actually in this
Right.
movie,
Or like-
but he didn't get the part of Poe.
Right.
Okay, that implies that, or that infers that he tried to get the part of Poe.
He probably did.
I don't know.
Maybe
What do you think
did.
he tried at, and they were like, "No, you're not good enough, but here's a lesser role for you."
That happens a lot.
That happens a lot where
Not
they
to
try
Seth
out
Rogen.
for
Not to Seth
like,
Rogen.
like the main cast, and they're like, "No, but we've got another character that you would fit
Not
well
to Seth
into."
Rogen.
I think me and Nick are outvoting you.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't
weird.
doubt it.
It's weird that that's allowed to happen.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't.
Um,
Zach and I are going to start our own podcast.
Oh, shots fired.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything right now. I'm copying Zach's score from the first movie and giving it a 9.9.
Yeah.
Like, I want to give it a perfect 10, but maybe there's somebody out there who I just don't know who would have. But like, he killed it.
He makes the movie.
Yeah.
He really does.
I'm going to stick with my score from the last one, 9.9. It is
A true
it
Jack
is-
Black fan.
Yeah.
Did you have any more fun facts about Jack Black?
Oh,
that
yeah,
you
I
were
actually
supposed to
have.
sprinkle in, or
Oh,
I
yeah.
have two.
two? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's come on.
His first TV credit was in an Atari commercial. Have you seen it?
Huh.
No.
have
I
not.
believe it's for the game Pitfall.
Huh.
And he's dressed up like Indiana Jones, and he even puts on a fake little accent. I've seen it before. It's pretty funny.
So we're gonna have to Google.
Yeah, I wish we could play these things right now. You'll see it on the screen. That's just me imagining. You really won't.
I don't know if I don't know
Yeah.
if I'm allowed.
Maybe we
to
can
on
put a
screen.
link in the
How
description.
that,
I don't
the
know.
copyright things work.
I don't
and
know
what we
how.
I'll
can
reach
show
out to
and not
Mr.
show.
Black himself and see
Yeah.
what we can do.
Just use YouTube, guys.
Yeah, just
Come on.
Google. Jack
You're already
Black Atari
watching our
commercial.
video on
Use
YouTube.
the Google on the internet machine.
Just open up
Everybody
another
that's
window.
consuming this knows how to work the internet, so you can find it.
Correct.
Okay.
Use the
Also,
interwebs.
Yes.
his parents,
Okay.
Judith Lois Cohen
Uh huh.
and Thomas William Black, were rocket scientists.
I knew that.
His mother actually worked on the Hubble Space Telescope.
I feel like I'd heard that before,
That's
but
awesome.
definitely forgot. But that's sick.
That's pretty crazy.
That is. Thanks for the fun
Parents are
fact.
smart people.
I found more, but I was going to save them
Yeah,
for
we
subsequent
have
episodes.
16 of these episodes to
Yeah,
film.
I don't know if I can find 16, but I think I might be able to. I'll try my best.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be like Jack Black's birthday is
Yeah.
whatever.
There's 32 credits, so
Yeah.
it's great. Anything else you guys want to add, or you just want me to read us out?
Let's see. Anything to add?
Jack Black is national treasure.
Jack Black is a national treasure.
Yes.
I really like his. I think his music and his stuff with Tenacious D really gets kind of overshadowed by his movies, but I think his musical stuff and his like sketch comedy that he did with Tenacious D was even funnier. Like to me,
It's
that
amazing.
that hits closer to home to me than most of his movies.
Yeah.
And I'm always surprised how good he can sing.
He's a fantastic
Man,
singer.
this dude could be like a famous rock star if he wanted to.
Yeah.
He really could.
But it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
That is true.
I'm not familiar. Is that a reference to something?
It's a song.
Is that Maroon 5?
No.
'Cause it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. I'm just thinking of the credits of School of Rock rolling in.
We should get credits. That's a lot of work for me, I think.
Yeah.
No, except not really, because there's only like 3 things I'd have to put in the credits.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for the first episode of the Jack Black Showdown series with the My Life, Your Life Together movie squad. I'm working on shirts to make up, so we'll be wearing like
The
themed
movie squad shirts.
yeah, theme shirts in the future,
Maybe shirts with our faces on them.
and maybe eventually that I have to work on. But before that,
Could get cartoon caricatures.
that's what
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
I'm working on.
That's a good idea.
That's
I
awesome.
can't do that. But
Get
I have to
like-
talk to somebody. But everything costs money, you know. But for now, we're just working
On
on some
that
simple
note-
tech shirts, which will be in the store as well, so you guys can watch them, feel a part of this, and not watch them, wear them while you watch this, and be a part of this.
Or are we going to spin the wheel?
That's yeah, not
Okay.
right now,
Oh, okay.
not right now. Thank
Because
you.
we want to give you something to look forward to.
Yes.
And encourage you at home to watch the next movies before we do the next episode.
Yeah.
I guess we could do that.
So you can play along with us.
My brain hurts. My brain hurts.
Well, we can always
Yeah.
edit.
Okay. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, listening, supporting. Keep sharing our episodes. Keep liking, keep commenting, keep
Like,
joining us.
subscribe,
We
Yeah,
love you.
Like,
Follow.
subscribe. Nick loves you
Worldwide.
worldwide.
Buy our merch
Buy our merch.
if you want to support
I'm
us.
working on some fun embroidered beanies as well. Yeah, there's just a lot going on, and we're excited for you all to enjoy it with us. Thank you, and we will see you next time.